Hey guys, this is my journal collection 2020 video, and this is the first journal I started using in fall 2006 when I got into regularly journaling, and this one I used into early 2007 also, and I've been journaling regularly for about 13 years. It'll be 14 years in fall 2020, and this is an old Barnes & Noble leather wrapped traveler's journal. They don't make these anymore, but it was really nice, and I just love this one. And then next up is this one, and this thing is huge. That's not what she said. But it was 600 pages, and this thing was so inspiring that I really used this in 3 months, which was crazy. I've never written that fast in my life, but it just felt so inspiring, and it's another one of the Barnes & Noble ones. I used this in 2013. It's an older design, but this thing is massive. So yeah, that one really inspired me like most journals just never do. And then in my other, this is kind of in order of like my top 5 favorite journals. My next runner up is this one, and I used this in 2013. It's a Florentina. It's got some crap on the other cover of paint rubbed off from another journal, but it's really pretty. I like that the cover is leather, but it's got a bit of a cushion to it, like a slight cushion. It's got golden edge. It just feels really nice. And then, what else? I really liked this one. And this one I got at, I want to say Walgreens or CVS. I can't remember which. It's just a leopard print one. I'd never used this brand before. I can't actually remember what brand it was. I want to just something random. I think I covered that up with a pocket in the back. Yeah, I don't even know what this one was. It was just some uncommon one, but I collaged in this. I took it all around the city for Times Square New Year's and stuff a long time ago, 2014, 15, and I really just share a lot of like deeply personal stuff into this. I was at the time depression was kicking my ass, and I was trying to figure out a lot in life and I had a lot going on. So this one is special just because I was like sharing a lot of personal secrets with it, even though it's, you know, inanimate. But it just, sometimes when you just write a lot of deeply personal stuff in a journal, it just feels more special than the rest. So this one kind of does that for me. And let's see, so does that original journal. And then this 2007 one here is, I moved across the country that year, switched schools and jobs and cities and everything, states. And this has a lot of that. So this one also has a lot of life, not really life change, well, kind of life change, just kind of a lot of changes in life that this saw me through. So there's this one. It's another one of those traveler wrap one. They had them in 2 colors. I always wish they had them in more additional colors. I had wondered what this came from, and it would have been from that. All right, let's put that back in there. All right, next up is, oh, this one. I'm using one like this now again, but this one is, I used in 2018, and the leather smells amazing. It's got deckled edges, which gets all over everything, but the leather smells nice enough that I really enjoyed using this enough to use the same design again now. And then same with this one. This fox one is I want to say OCS Designs, is some random thing that they have at TJ Maxx, and sometimes I want to say Marshalls. I couldn't find them in stores, so I did buy it from some random person online, but I'd never filled a spiral journal before, and I like this one enough to actually fill this thing. And I got another one last year that's what is it, a deer? It's some kind of cute crap. I think it's a deer. I don't actually remember. It's the pastel turk aqua one. I've just started using it a handful of months ago. It's kind of a deer. They just look kind of like weird generic animals to me. I don't know, but they're cute, and I liked it enough that I like the size and everything enough that I want to try another one. So I'm using one like this now again. Then this one. One second, let's see what years I use this one. Let's see. Okay, this one was one of the ones that had waited the longest. I used this in 2016, and I'd had this since spring 2007. And I moved across the country, moved it a few times, and it finally decided to use it. I ended up Mod Podging the cover, so because it's fabric and that kind of bothered me, so I Mod Podged it, and you can kind of tell that I added some clothes from a clothes quilt I was making at the time in there, and yeah, it's really thick, and I don't know, that one, I was just waiting for the right time to use that, and that's kind of what I do with not a lot, but some of the blank journals I have, they just sometimes are waiting for years until it feels like the right time to use them, which sounds weird, I realize, but sometimes a certain size or type of journal work for you at a certain time in your life, and if you try to use it another time, you might not like it. So it's kind of, I like to wait for the right time. That's a markings one, and then this one, a C.R. Gibson markings one, and I used this one in 2014, and last summer, I'd been thinking about doing this for a long time. Last summer, I actually got rid of 27 used journals, which, before I get hate, I've been thinking about doing it for years, and some of the journals I had really rushed through or just not shared a whole lot with, and that kind of thing. So I'm actually glad I did that. If you were going to do that, I would really put it to the side and wait a substantial amount of time. Make sure it's not just an emotional, like, a fleeting emotion that you just want to get rid of and then you regret it later. I kind of thought that some of the journals I might not keep forever for a long time. Even kind of for years, like, oh, some of these I might not keep forever. And I had thought about it again for a while, more like I might get rid of these now. And I finally did that, and I'm glad I did, because the ones I have now are the ones that I really put a lot of my life into and used for a little bit longer and shared a lot with. Some of the journals I had, like in 2018, I used about 10 journals, and that's really going through them pretty quick, and you don't really share a whole lot of your life with journals when you're going through them that quick sometimes. So yeah, I cleaned out a lot last summer, and I'm glad I did that. But I would just be, careful if you're going to do that. Just wait a while to make sure it's something that you really have thought about a long amount of time, not something you regret later. And I didn't get rid of like a certain year or a certain time in my life. I kept enough journals to reflect every time in my life, like the good and the bad. So it wasn't just like I'm going to burn every journal from when I was dating a certain person or anything. And I think it's good to have journals that kind of show different aspects of your life, even the less positive parts. Anyway, this one is a journal that I used in 2018, and it's an old paper chase one that I'd had since 2007, and I thought I'd gotten rid of it for a number of years. I finally found it, I think in 2011 or something, and decided to use it, and I put tape on the cover because the leather was sort of wearing off a bit. It's got colorful paper in there, and then what else? This not paper chase. I don't. You'd think I'd remember this. I've kind of used a lot of theirs. Why is the name escaping me? Paper blanks. Okay, I was like, I know it's got paper in the name. And these I really enjoyed. They have decorative edges. You can't really tell as much after you fill them up, but I collaged in here and it took that well. And they're just really pretty. They're paper covers, but they really look fancy. This one, another one of theirs. Sometimes if you fill them too much, the clasp doesn't like if you collage a whole lot in there, but most of them take the collaging well. They're really pretty covers. I have some of their journals in my blank journal collection waiting, and I'm looking forward to using too. I really love these. The covers on these are kind of thicker. They're just really elegant. They remind me of an old library. I like their paper too. These I used in 2014 and 15. And then it's another 2015 of theirs. Paper blanks. And then this one. I really loved this one. Not that I'd really thought about using another one, but I never ended up getting another one, so I didn't. But it's really pretty. And just exotic and different looking. And the edges are different. Then this one I'd had since I was a kid, and I'd taken some notes from a youth organization I was in and then put it away for years, and then brought it back out in 2000, 18, 17, something. 17. I'm not sure that anyone really cares when I use it. I just find it interesting to see how long people keep journals blank or whatever. But yeah, I used this in 2017, and when I use journals from my past like that, sometimes it's kind of, I don't even know what you call it, kind of like writing a letter to your past almost, like kind of, I vented a lot about the past in here and just reflected a lot and did a lot of nostalgia. So if you have really old journals, sometimes they tend to kind of sway towards the whole nostalgia and vintage, like vintage kind of theme. And here is another one of those leather wrapped traveler's journal I used in 2007 and 8 when I was moving across the country and switching schools and jobs and everything. And then another paper blanks, 2007. And this one I took around the city. I was living in DC at the time, so I'd carry like a purse journal sometimes and then have one at home and just write wherever I was, and that was really fun. Then what else? This one I've never been able to find another one. It's a marking or C.R. Gibson one, and I put the sticker on the cover, but it's just the perfect size. It's got gold edges, and I bought this at Big Lots for $5 in 2008, and never been able to find another one, and I've tried. And it's got a clasp thing on it. I really like this one. Looks vintagey. I think that's why I like it so much. And they apparently don't exist outside of this one because I've looked everywhere for years and nothing. Yay. Alright, another one I got at Big Lots for $5. Another markings one. This one I used in 2014. And the paper in here is a little bleach white. You can kind of see from the edges, but it kind of reminds me of the embroidery on stuff that was really popular when I was young. Like embroidered athletic pants and stuff was popular when I was young, so this kind of reminded me of that. And then this one's a paper chase one, and this thing is huge. The paper's also, like, it's got large lines, it's really white paper, but I like the cover enough to deal with that. It's got the clear rhinestones, like the big ones I added, but the rest of it, the small little crap, comes on it. I added the elastic and this bow for my childhood shoe, but yeah, I really enjoyed using this one, and so I threw it on the floor. I don't know, it just looks vintagey and quaint. I've been tempted to use another one of theirs. Alright, what else? Death. Just dropped one. This one I finished. This is my most recent fill, and I used the cover of this 4 years ago, but I decided to use it again. I stuck a Rodeo Web notebook in here, and I really enjoyed using it this time. The notebook that came with it when I first got it 4 years ago had bleach white paper. I just didn't enjoy it, so I enjoyed having good paper in it this time. And then the red one that my late grandfather gave me a Christmas gift once, well, Christmas cash, and I bought that. And then when he did that in 2016, this was my first one of these, 2016. He'd give me Christmas cash, and I'd always wanted one of these journals, so I finally got one in 2016. And it's a really special keepsake now that, you know, he's gone, and like, it's just a neat memory that, you know, I got to get something that could, like, have and enjoy and whatever. I could reuse it. They're refillable covers, so that's cool. This little one is a Fiorentina. I can never remember if it's Fiorentina or Florentina, but it's orange, so I needed that in my life. And then this one I got from the Claire's inside of Toys R Us before Toys R Us closed. And this is just like everything glitter and holographic and furry 90s. And this one just was really fun. I took a shopping bag from Toys R Us and put in the inside cover so it would be kind of nostalgic about Toys R Us in here. I've got another one of theirs that says Birthday Girl on it that I'm going to use. I just wanted some nostalgia from both those stores because Claire's has been having some, like, business difficulty and Toys R Us shut down, so I wanted to have something from them. And then this one, I collaged a lot. This was after kind of a rough patch in 2014. And I lost another person and just had, after a series of losses and disappointments and everything else. And so I kind of didn't really have many words then, so I just started collaging, and this is pretty much mostly collaging in this journal. Sometimes if you can't find words, you might try collaging, because sometimes it can really help. And then this journal here, it's from 2015. It's a Piccadilly, I can't remember what it's called, but I just put my initials on here, and then my lucky number, and then semicolon project thing. I used to have a unicorn on here, but it fell off. Death. It broke off, actually. It was a plastic thing. Alright, okay, this is kind of a lot. This one, another of those Italian leather ones from Barnes & Noble. Actually, it's the only one I filled in here, so it's not really another, but when I use these, I like to fill them out, so they kind of lay flat better, and they're just less physically heavy, and they just work better. So I did that with this one. This is the first one of these that I ever filled, and enjoyed that one, 2017. And then let's see, okay, little pocket moleskin, 2007. And then some more little, I was kind of on a pocket moleskin kick for a number of years, if you can't tell. It was about 2013 when I decided to start branching out and trying a bunch of different sizes and brands and stuff. Mostly because that small size started hurting my hands. So I'm glad I eventually branched out. Let's see. Some more one. The top one's a C.R. Gibson markings one from Walmart. It's kind of peeling off because I Mod Podged some other journals that stuck to it. I didn't put a clear gloss over it. This one's a little moleskin volant from 2009 that I kind of forgot about because it really didn't take long to finish, so that's kind of a random little one. And then more 2007. That one I use is like around the city notebook too. Then this one, 2007, live, laugh, love, and be happy. This one I done a lot of things to. I think I nail polish under here, and then I put stickers, and I just kept trying to decorate it, and I didn't like any of how it turned out, so I eventually just put ribbon from my late grandma's sewing chest all over it, and called it a day. Pocket moleskin, 2010. 2008, that was for New Year, 2008, 2008, and that was like one of my favorite times of my life. 2009, 2012, this is a markings one that I'd had since 2007, was waiting for the right time to use also. And then more little moleskins. And then the red one's a planner, but these do not fit that easily. Alright, we're almost done. Okay, so two more. These are Piccadilly, death. I almost dropped it. I did sort of drop it. Medium Essential journals, and they don't make this color anymore, but it's just the lavender one, and they're about $5-ish on clearance when they were available in the store. And I like this color enough. I've been looking for years for ones. I finally found another one last year. So I've got another one that's a current journal. And yeah, I'm not really sure how many this is, but let me know. I was kind of wondering if they all fit in here well, and they kind of, luckily I do have some of my childhood ones too. That's another handful, and that's about it. So yeah, I'll do a panning. I'm so out of breath. I'm like old and I've been talking a long time. But anyway, let me know if this was amusing, and if you have any video ideas for me. These on the side are like theme journals. But yeah, let me know if you have any video ideas or video requests, and what your favorite one of these journals are, what your favorite journal you've used of your own is, and yeah. Have a good night. Bye.